So 2 days ago, I was feeling really sad. And if you know me, I rarely get sad. And I want to talk about it because it's kind of important to me because in life, I never really feel emotions. And I've talked about this last week, I think. If you guys don't know, I don't have a family. I don't have like any parents or aunt or cousin or like anyone that I speak to. And I've been alone like that for, I mean, pretty much all my life. No one was really there for me, but truly no one, like no connection to them. Like I'd say like 5 years ago. So it's been quite the fucking life to live alone with I got kicked out at 17, so there's also that having to like live my life like that. I don't want to be like a fucking like I don't know, it's just sometimes I get reminders of it, I guess. Like if I see like a family having like a nice time or like a family picture on Twitter or something like that, it sparks a little part, right, where I go like, damn, I wish that was me, and like not in a bad way, like just like not in a like oh sad, but like in a, you know what I mean, like just like a oh damn. I've always like felt sometimes like that, but never sad. So 2 days ago I was in bed and I started feeling really sad. And it's important, like I said, it's really important that I tell you that I tell you guys that, because for me to feel sad, chat, is very rare, and for me to feel that is very rare. So yeah, so I was in bed and I was like, okay, I feel like shit. And I started being like really depressed, okay? Which very, very, very rarely I get that. Like every couple of years I get like the, damn, you really have like no one, like you're alone, right? And so I started feeling like mediocre and very like depressed. And I was like, okay, no. And I realized that it was starting to rain. And I was like, okay, I think it's time that I go outside. Because I've always wanted to do this, is walk outside and like drench myself in like the fucking like rain coming down on me. And I was like, I want to have this moment in my life. I always wanted to do this, right? And I was like, right now I feel like depressed and I never feel like that, and I needed to get out. So I was like, I need to go for a walk. So I went for a walk. I went outside as it started to thunder. Literally, like it just had started to thunder. It was really loud. Like it was a really big storm. So I was like, yeah, it's perfect. So I started walking, and then the rain just started like, coming down and stuff. And I kind of like had like a moment of just, chilling with my thoughts, but not chilling with my thoughts, more so like experiencing the pain in a different way, right? And it was really comforting, because I personally love the rain, but also the fact that just walking outside
without further interruption,
have like just like this like peace, right? Because I love the rain and it felt really great. So I started walking, and then literally 10 minutes in, it started pouring, like actually pouring. And I remember just like walking, and I was literally in the streets. Everyone was like, running and stuff. And I was just walking, and it felt like a movie, dude. It literally felt like a movie. I was walking and no one was like looking, but everyone was looking at the same time, because like, who the fuck is this crazy bitch walking in like pouring rain? And I was just this like main character, you know what I mean? That was like literally my moment of main character. And I was walking down, and I was just, and it was pouring literally like I was like, my clothing was like stuck on me because it was like all like, and I had like a hoodie. And I took down the hoodie, and my I had also like a, fucking, what's it called? Like a hat. So I took down my hat, and I was like, I'm just gonna experience the rain, right? Like coming down on me, and just feel it like literally drench me from top to bottom. And because there's so much water, the bottom of like not the bottom, but the streets were like full of water, right? So even when I walked, it was literally this like big of water. So I was walking in the water. So I was literally drenched in water. And I walked like that for 40 minutes, thinking about anything and everything. And I remember there's a couple of times where I would walk, and I was like literally looking at the sky, and I started laughing, because I was like, this is so, like, I was just like smiling. I was like this is so like a moment of like, I'll remember this moment forever, because I was like, this is very detrimental to my mental health that I did that. Not only that, but it was a rewinding moment where it put me back in the perspective that there's these small things in life, right? For example, like rain, and like doing this, which is like when you were a kid, right? When you were a kid, you would go outside in the rain and you didn't think about it. It was just like rain, whatever. Nowadays, as an adult, you see things in a different way. It's like, oh, it's raining. I need to probably get my coat. I need to get like a, and it's like, you don't think as you did when you were as a kid, right? So me being in the rain kind of like put me back in the perspective of like, nothing really matters. Not in a very negative way, but like nothing really matters in the way of like, this is such a small thing that puts me in a good mood. Like, do you know what I mean? Like things like this can actually like, does that make sense? in my head, like, you know, I am alone, but things like the rain can actually make me like really happy. So in the end, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was really like, I asked myself a lot of questions. I like to ask myself questions and stuff, and like respond to them, give me like perspectives and stuff. But yeah, so I highly recommend, chat, that you go on a walk in the rain. Not because like literally don't think about it. Just go outside and go walk in the rain. Like, I'm serious, because it weirdly felt so refreshing, not in the way that you think, but in a way of like a rewind, like literally a full rewind of like, and not just like walk in the rain, pouring rain, like actually pouring rain, like truly experience what it's like to like be drenched, okay? And like not care, not be like, oh, I'm gonna be at home, it's gonna be like, experience it and just enjoy it in the streets. And people were like passing in cars and stuff, and I was just laughing. I felt like the Joker pretty much, right? I was like laughing, like, dude, I was like, this can't be, this is unreal, you know? So yeah, so I said, started getting sad thoughts, decided to go for a walk at the start of the rainstorm. Am I utterly insane? No. I just battle my demons in ways that make me feel alive instead of letting them win. And I was literally drenched, okay? That's me at the light, just being like, you know, experiencing like full on pouring rain. And then I wrote this because I think it's important, and I'll read it to you. Now, I want to say this before I read it. I'm not searching for pity, okay, ever. And this is the thing that I want people to realize and take the concept of my brain on how I see things is, I don't see this paragraph as a pity. Like I don't want to like have you guys pity me in that sense. It's more of a positive outlook than anything. So just saying first and foremost before like someone just goes like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's really not about that. It's the opposite, actually. It's quite literally the opposite. Every couple of years, I get hit by the reminder that I live without unconditional love. Having no family is not something that I can constantly think nor feel sad of. I feel as though I walk alone on my journey every single day with no one being proud of me beside my own self. People over the years always wondered why I would say streaming is my life and not my hobby. Streaming is everything I've ever had that made me feel like I had a purpose and a family. The only thing that was ever there for me when no one cared about me in real life. The only thing that I have that never let me down. I may have a parasocial relationship with my community in that way, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. In days like this, where I get reminders that I have nothing beside my stream, it reminds me that the only thing I want to do is be better and there for those who watch me. I never gave up, and I never will. I don't even have a will to grind streaming. It's all I want in life, and all I've had for years. One day, I hope I can make thousands of people laugh and feel like they have a home with me just as much as I do with them. At the top, when no one was there beside you, I'll be there reminding you that you're worthy and not alone, just like you do for me every single day. How do you deal with sadness and depression and all that? Exactly what I said. So when I get those feelings of feeling depressed, right? When I get feelings of feeling like more like shit, I'll do this. Exactly what I did is that I'll kind of like slap myself in the face, right? And kind of go into this mindset of like, okay, get up, do something about it. Because the moment that you put yourself down, especially for me, is I don't have a choice. I've never had a choice to stay in my sadness. I could never had the choice. I could never have the choice of that because I was alone. So if I was down, right, and no one was there to pick me up, I would still be down. There's no one around me, right? So the only person to pick me up is myself. And I think that in life, you really need to see life like this because there's not always going to be people around you, right? And maybe when people pick you up, you're going to get used to it. And when you're going to be alone, then you're not going to be able to pick yourself up. So I've learned over the years to just pick myself up myself. And kind of like that, right? Where I was in bed and just be like, okay, enough sadness. I need to do something about it. I was feeling extremely sad. And I got out of bed, put on some clothes, went for a walk and walk in the rain. And it was just that. It was literally just like, do something. Like, we gotta do something that's gonna, you know what I mean? So, yeah. And during my walk, I just reminded myself of like all the like small little things because a walk in the rain, personally, really reminded me of like all the small little things that are important in life, right? But yeah, just do things that are like out of the ordinary. Like, if you're feeling really sad about something specific or not specific, just sad in general, try to do things that you never do. Like, literally, you never do. So your brain goes into like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? There's this one time, I kid you not, I went at 9 p.m. I arrived at the park for at 9:30. I stayed there until 5 a.m. when the sun came out. And I was staring at the sky the entire time. The entire time, I saw the sky go dark fully and then go back up to like light. And that does something to your brain. Weirdly enough, it does something to your brain.